Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and today is Casing Tuesday, and it is a crazy Tuesday for me. So I'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's a sunshiny Tuesday too, and I love that. I think the temperature is going to actually be okay today. So after our cold snap last weekend, we have been warming up a little bit, so that is great. Today is Casing Tuesday, and if you don't know what that is, it means basically we give cards makeovers. Case is a stamping term that was coined many years ago. It stands for copy and share everything. So when we copy or give a makeover a card, or we copy it exactly, we are said to be casing a card. So that's where the term comes from originally. So today's card, we always pick a card out of the catalog. There's a group of us. We have a Facebook group that you're welcome to join and post on. Please come and share your card with us that you've made over, or come and leave a comment for us, or just look at the cards. Just be a part of the group. So the card today is right here. So today's card, on initial peek, you might think, oh my gosh, that could be a little bit complicated. But I'm going to show you how I simplified the layout on mine. You don't have to copy or make over exactly. You can, do some tweaks. This card, as it is, it would be really good if you had like die cuts and stuff, because then basically you could cut yourself a frame, you can cut yourself some stamp and cut some greetings out, and then do the die cuts and just kind of layer everything. So I don't think this is a terribly hard card. It's not my typical style though, so I'll show you how I turned it into my style. Every card can be adapted somehow. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Well, the sketch, which I haven't unveiled here. There is the sketch. So those are, if you want to make the card exactly, these are going to be the measurements for all of the layers, so you have an idea of how to cut it. But often you're going to need to, if you're using a different stamp set, you're going to need to tweak those layers a little bit, make them smaller, larger, maybe even delete a layer like I did. So we'll come back and I'm gonna close this. Good morning, Janine. Good morning, Deborah. I'm glad to have you here. So today I'm like, it's kind of been a crazy day. We put in an offer on a house yesterday, and today they came back to, there were like 13 offers on this house. Again, just craziness. So they came back to all of us last night and said, give us your best offer, final offer. And so we put in the revised offer this morning. And now, my husband and I are thinking, with 13 offers, are either you're going to be like the crazy person that bids the most and gets the house, in which case, yay. But then did you end up overpaying for the house? And are you like the crazy person who bid the most on this house? Or are you like just really excited that you got the house? And I don't know, like how I feel like I really like this house. It's on a cul-de-sac, near a park, near enough to walk to the town, and like restaurants and stuff. So it's like a cool location, but at the same time, like you never want to overpay for something. Everyone loves a coupon, right? So it's just I feel like always every single offer we put in on a house recently, I'm like so conflicted, because we're in for those of you who don't follow me, we're in the Boston market, and it is still a very hot market with very low inventory. So I've heard this house that we've been on had 13 offers. I heard of another house, one town over, that had 18 offers on it. It's just insane that, so the houses that are good have lots of offers on them, and the houses that have issues, they might be lingering on the market longer. But the good houses, they're all just like, they're snapped up within a week. They put them on the market midweek, and then by the weekend open house, the offers are due at the beginning of the week, and the house is basically off the market by midweek. So, basically it's on the market for a week, which is probably about the shortest amount of time most houses are on the market, just because you need a little time for people to come through. So absolute craziness. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. Well, I guess we'll hear back later today. Good morning, Linda and Karen and Marty. Linda says the markets are so crazy right now. Were you able to bargain down? Yeah. No bargaining down in the Boston area. If there's, you can. We've put in, like, I think since the fall, this would be our 5th offer. And yeah, you can put in you can go under ask, you can go a little bit over ask, and you can be like, yay, I stuck to my guns. Or if you really like something, you can go over ask and over ask again, and hopefully get a house out of it. It's just a very hard game to play here in this particular market at our price point. I think our price point is like just one that is there's still a lot of people buying at. So that's, if we had more money, it wouldn't be an issue, because there's more inventory at the higher levels. So, but anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Oh, and I also wanted to say hello, Mom, and I hope you're feeling better soon. I've been thinking about you, and my mom has a throat neuralgia. It's a very awful pain, and she can't talk right now, so I haven't talked to her for a couple of days. So if you're watching this video, I love you, and I hope we can talk soon. I hope the pain goes away soon. All right, that's just an aside. I've gone over the sketches. Let's jump in and let me show you the card that I made today. And maybe now you'll know why I'm talking about the houses today. I made a Gnome Sweet Gnome card. I was thinking about houses last night as we were doing the offer and everything, and I thought, oh, this would be perfect. So you remember the layout, the original layout, it had like a frame, and then it had some panels across. Well, guess what? I don't want to have all those little panels across because I'm not going to be doing a die cut. So I just created one big panel down my middle, and I made it into a little frame card. And I think it's super cute, and it still has a little bit of the original feel of the card. It has the frame. I think they actually use the cane weave embossing folder on those background strips, so I'm keeping with that. And hopefully my husband and I will get our very own mushroom house very, very soon. And this is me, and this is my husband. We are standing in front of our mushroom house that we will hopefully have one day. All right, so let me talk to you about this stamp set. This is the Friendly Gnomes stamp set, and it's in our spring mini catalog. It's very cute. It matches the dies that were in the holiday catalog. Actually, I haven't gotten the dies yet, but because I didn't get the Christmas stamp set, I just ran out of time to get everything in the catalog. I got a lot of the catalog, just not that. But in the spring, I felt like getting these gnomes, so I thought I would just get the stamp set for now. And, it works very well if you're stamping and you don't need to have a die cut shape. I'm using the cane weave embossing folder, also out of the spring mini catalog. And then this die set, it's the Fabulous Frames dies, and this was in the annual catalog. All right. Let's get started on this card. All right, the card base is pretty simple. It's crumb cake. It's 8.5 by 5.5 and a score and half at the 4 1/4 inch mark. I have lost my bone folder. Ah, there it is. Then you just use your bone folder to flatten it out. We'll set that aside. We won't need that till the end. Then I've got, I've got a piece of not crumb cake, soft suede cardstock. And to do this card more easily, if you cut the frame first and layer it on the white, then you can kind of see where to do all your stamping. So I'm going to bring in my big Stampin' Cut Emboss machine because that frame will not fit down my mini. I need to dust my my machine. It sits underneath my table and it's getting a little dusty because I have another one sitting out behind me too. I have two that I use. Okay, we're gonna need the base platform number 1 and 2 clear number 3 plates. And this is about a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece. You probably don't need quite so large a piece, but you could cut it a tad bit smaller, but this is what I had, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut with it. When you're cutting dies that have a big straight edge, if you can put them on an angle, they run through the machine better with the angle. Oh, you know what I forgot? Number 1 plate, number 2 plate as well. I need the thin die adapter on there. And then the clear plate, the die, the cardstock, the die, and then another clear plate. Okay, we're going to run this through. And I can use these pieces for something else later on. And here is the frame that I need. I will need this die cutting machine one more time at the end when I run through my piece with the embossing folder. So we'll just set this aside for a moment. And then we're going to take a piece of basic white cardstock. This measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And if you just layer this on here, because, you know, if you make a mistake, you don't want this glued on here. You want to be able to flip over your cardstock and stamp on the back side. So just kind of layer this on there as straight as you can get it. And then we're going to take our Memento ink pad. Let's move some things out of the way so they're not in the way. And I'm going to take the girl stamp first. I'll start in one corner and work my way over. So we're just going to stamp this down here about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom, very close to the side. Just go ahead and stamp the little girl. Okay, where'd my other gnome go? Oh, across the room. I photographed this gnome with my, my card. Okay, let me just decide where that's at. Okay. All right, come here. This is representing my husband. I don't know if it's a good representation though, because he definitely does not have a beard. So, but this is the gnomish representation of me and my husband, because neither do I wear my hair in braids, right? So I do have the long hair, but I haven't worn my hair in braids since, oh, I don't know, elementary school probably. And then I'll just kind of tuck this in right about here. Okay, we're just creating a little scene here. Okay, and then don't you know it, I cut apart my Gnome Sweet Gnome stamp because I wanted to fit it here, and it looked better kind of coming down on an angle. So yes, I cut in between Gnome Sweet and Gnome. So I'm just going to go ahead and stamp all of these little words separately. So I'll put Gnome right here. I'll put Sweet right here. And and I can use either one of the gnomes. I think they're almost identical. Okay, so don't be afraid, especially with the photopolymer ones, don't be afraid to cut them apart, because you can piece them back together on a block and they'll stamp exactly the same as one that is put together. And it just gives you options on, like, if I wanted to stamp it all in one straight line, I could do that. It just gives you options on how to put things together. Okay, so we can pull our frame off, and now I'm going to show you how I colored all of these guys. So I'll start with the gnome hats, and you definitely want to color before you put it through with the embossing folder, because afterwards it won't work. It won't look good, because you're going to be coloring on ridges and it's just going to be very, very difficult. So okay. And okay, I'm going to outline both hats because I decided to do both gnomes. And this is Tahitian Tide. It's a bright blue. And I like to usually, one of the things I like to do with blends is I like to go outside on the outline with the dark. And then I like to come in with the light and blend out those lines. And I'm just going to avoid the flower. And I think maybe we'll color the flower too. This time I kind of forgot that on my card, so maybe we'll endeavor to do that. I left a tiny bit of white up at the top. I usually like to leave like a light spot somewhere near the top, and if I don't draw it in early on, I usually forget. So sometimes I circle an area so that I'm leaving a white spot. And that white spot is really where the light from above, the sunlight above, would hit the hat, or whatever image you're coloring would hit the surface of the thing that you're coloring. So it looks kind of funny when you do it at first, but it actually looks better as the whole thing progresses. So I've got, oh, let's go ahead and also color the door. I thought a bright blue door would be really fun. Be really cool. Like that. So fun, right? Like a pop of color. I think the gnomes need a pop of color. So then we're going to add some red accents. So we're going to do the heart in Sweet Sorbet. It's a fun red color, perfect for this time of year. It's kind of I don't know, it's not like the deep dark red of Christmas, but it's just kind of nice and light and bright. Just come in, do the edges. Okay, and then I'm going to do the top of the mushroom. And I'm going to leave those, I don't know what those are called on the mushroom, those little dots on a mushroom. I don't know what they're called. This is probably a poisonous mushroom, so it's okay to live in it, but don't eat it. Oh, if only we could have a mushroom home. My husband and I would be so happy. Okay, I think I'm gonna hit the flower with some yellow. I'm gonna start, yeah, because I'm gonna do all of those flowers. Okay, so first let me do the braids, and I'm gonna do them in So Saffron Light. So Saffron Light. And I'm doing the thicker part of the braids with the brush, and then I'll do the other pieces down here with my little tip. Okay, then we'll do So Saffron, the dark So Saffron, and we're gonna hit these, which could be flowers, or they could also kind of be clover. And let me hit this little flower too, because I did not do the flower. Maybe I'll do like a red center. That will kind of tie it in a little bit. I didn't do that on the original card. Let's do like a red doorknob here too. That's cute. All right. Oh, I forgot blends across the room. I was making my supply list this morning and I was like, what colors did I use? So I grabbed them and brought them over to my work desk. Okay. So I'm going to use, this is our neutrals blends. I don't even know if they're called. There's a whole bunch of these in different shades. This one's a light on the light combo of Stampin' Blends, and I'm using, if you look on your marker, there will be 1,000 listed like on the side. That's the one that I'm using. And so this is like a skin tone, and I don't know if this is my skin tone or not, but I just kind of went with it because this is a representation of me. And okay, that's pretty good. And I went with medium light for my husband, the other gnome in this picture. Crazy that I'm doing a gnome picture. You know, like those cross stitch patterns that they used to have, you know, and it would say home sweet home. This is what I'm thinking of as I'm making this. Oh, and I'm also going to use the same one, the 1,000, the light blends. I'm going to use that just to hit this shroom on the underside, just to give it like just a little bit of depth. I'm actually just hitting those lines just a little bit. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to do a really light color for the clothes. So I'm doing, this is soft sea foam, and it's the dark one. And I'm just going to come along and hit, myself and my husband, we're both wearing the same green in attire. Yes, we are. I dressed us up matching. Okay. And then we have our smoky slate light, and we're gonna do the shoes in smoky slate light. I didn't want to add like too many colors because I thought, you know, I wanted this to kind of look kind of whimsical, and I didn't want to go overboard, so that's why I kind of chose similar colors. So my husband and I truly never dress this way. We don't dress up the same way. We don't wear blue hats and live in a shroom house. Okay, I'm gonna hit these little stones in gray. Oh, and I need to hit this. I'm gonna also do this in soft sea foam just to match the greens. Just hit the grass and the stems. Okay. Now, you have to double check before you run this to the embossing folder. Did you color everything that you wanted? And I think I did. I think I colored everything I wanted, and it's good. So now you can see what the difference is. I think, you know, when you're putting this on here, I mean, this is cute, but this is going to give you that cross stitch look. That's what I want to kind of achieve with this. I want this to be like a home sweet home cross stitch. Okay, so that means we need to grab our Stampin' Cut embossing machine again. The big one. This time I've just got my big #1 platform. And this is the, what did I call this? Did I call this by the correct name? Now I'm doubting myself. Okay, I'm looking this up on the background. Let's have a look, because it's in my supply list. This is a new embossing folder. It is called Cane Weave, not Crosshatch. Cane Weave embossing folder. This Cane Weave embossing folder is in the spring catalog. Okay, so Cane Weave, grab just my white layer. I'm going to slide it into the embossing folder. And I want it to be straight because it will look better if it isn't on a diagonal. So if I can get it to be somewhat straight. So I've got my base platform number 1, and I took away that thin die adapter. I'm putting this embossing folder, it's a 3D embossing folder, so I'm putting it right on the number 1, and then I'm taking my number 4 plate, and I'm going to run this through. And I have instantly cross-stitched this piece and made myself a gnome, sweet gnome card. All right, so now we just need to glue all of this together. So I cut my white piece just a little bit smaller than this soft suede piece. So I'm just gonna run Tombow around the back inside, like close to the opening, not close to the edge of the frame, because I want this, since this is just a little bit smaller than this, I want it actually to touch the white as it goes around. So the best way to do this is to stand up and to kind of bird's eye view it and kind of come down and, you know, center your piece how you want it, and then press down. I think I want it down a little bit more. If you cut your white just a little bit bigger than your white bigger than the opening, then you can fiddle around with it, right? So you can just kind of play around until you've got it just exactly how you want it. Then this is the card base, and you can see how this is just a little bit smaller and how I kind of maneuvered it. And so now I'm going to stick glue all on the back of this, and then we'll stick this down right here. All right. I think I want it up a little higher. I'm shoving it. I'm hoping it's moving. Okay. I did that last night too. I don't know why. Okay, there we go. And then you can add a bow. I toyed around, like, I actually colored this with a bow with sweet sorbet last night, but then I thought that was like almost too much red. I don't know, what do you think? Should I just go with a white bow or should I add the red bow? I don't know. In the end, I always tend to want to underemphasize the bow, but maybe the red bow is kind of cute. Maybe I should do one with a red bow. What do you guys think? Do you think I should go ahead and do my red bow? So I just colored this. I tied the bow and then I colored it with the sweet sorbet, the same color as I did the shroom and the heart. I just did the same color, so you can, make it look a little bit more. Marty says she likes the red. So okay, let's go ahead. And I just saw Janine's comment. She said the spots on mushrooms are called spores. Ah, cool. I probably would have looked that up if I had thought about it ahead of time. Because I sometimes go down these rabbit holes when I'm doing stuff and I'm like, oh, I need to find out that piece of information. And then all of a sudden I am like deep in the internet 5 searches later, because I'm no longer looking for the dots on the mushroom, I am now looking at something totally unrelated that came up when I looked at the spores. And I probably looked at, how the spores, they spread the mushrooms around. And then I'd probably look up mushroom circles, just kind of a long train of thought. And so anyway, there is my sweet gnome card. My husband and I standing in front of our shroom house, and hoping that one day we will have a lovely shroom house with spores on the roof. So there you go. I hope you find the humor in that. So I'm coming back over to you guys. Marty says that's why she loves the internet. Rabbit holes. I know you can go down a lot of them on the internet. And I, in a past life, I was a librarian. So I do go down rabbit holes. I love information. When I was growing up, you didn't have this kind of information at your fingertips all the time. And, so we had to actually use libraries. And now I'm like constantly looking stuff up. Libraries are still good though, because they're usually have more authentic sources of information. Sometimes when you look something up on the internet, it's not always authentic, so or true. So we have to be very, very careful about that. And librarians in particular are really, truly want to find correct sources of information and help people get there, because we want the truth. That is a good thing. We wanna know what is really what, right? Okay, enough about libraries. Let me talk to you about my host code for the month, because I do have one. And if you spend $50 with me this month with this host code, I hope I have it somewhere. I have been in the middle. Yes, I am in the middle of making thank you cards for last month's orders. And things are in disarray. But this month's gift, if you spend February 2023, these are the iridescent pastel gems, and that is the gift of the month for spending at least $50 with me. Please make sure you use the host code, that R6MD2XX6 host code if you're ordering with me in February. The other thing right now is Celebration is still going on, and last week Stampin' Up! Added, I think, 9 more items at the $50 level, or maybe it was 8 more items. So now you have even more products to choose from. If you want to check out, I went over those last week, but if you want to check them all out, just click over to my blog. The link is down below in the description of this video. Click over to my blog, hit that top banner. It says February specials, click here. Click on that, and that will take you to a page where it will show you all the different celebration items that are available at the 2 different levels. There's a $50 level and a $100 level, and so you can choose, if you're spending $150, you can choose 3 level ones, or for every 50 you spend, or you can get 1 level 2, which is the $100 level, and then 1 level 1, which is the $50 level. So it's really cool. This is one of the best times of year to be a customer, is during Celebration, where you can get rewarded for sales. And then of course, if you order with me, then you can also get these gems. And the other thing I also want to point out, we do have a starter kit special, and that is always the best deal, because with the starter kit special, you are going to, first of all, we have the special right now is fabulous. You get $175. There's 3 options. Option number 1, you spend you spend $99. No, wait. Sorry, let me start again. There are 3 options. Option number 1, you spend $129 and you get our mini boss. So I used the bigger one today, but you get the mini boss machine either in this color, boho blue, our option 2 is our white one. It's the same mini machine. And then you also get $175 worth of product. So that means you're getting a lot of product for your $99. And then once you get the starter kit, then you get to get a discount of 20% on your orders. You are signing up to be a demonstrator, but you don't have to. You can be you don't have to demonstrate, you don't have to do classes. You can be your very own best customer and just enjoy getting the discount. I think about 90% of people who join Stampin' Up! With a starter kit do so to just buy from themselves or to be a hobbyist. I don't know if it's 90%, but it's a great big percentage of demonstrators do it just to get the discount. Then you're also part of my Bee Stampers team, and I absolutely love my team. They are so wonderful and caring and kind to each other, and we have different events online throughout the month. We have our own Facebook group home, and so you're kind of patched into Stampin' Up! Through my team. And then you're also patched into the greater Stampin' Up! Family because they also have a separate Facebook group. You get to pre-order things before they go live for customers. You get to know what's happening with Stampin' Up! So you feel really looped in. And I think I remember back in the day when I was a customer. I was actually a customer for 3 years before I became a demonstrator, and I loved my demonstrator, and she would like tell me some of the things that were going on, but you don't get the full being a part of it until you become a demonstrator yourself, and you don't get any of the perks until you get the starter kit. You don't get that 20% discount, and it's just it was fun being a customer. But if you're spending a lot of money, then the starter kit is definitely for you, because you may as well be getting your own discount and have that extra money to spend on product. So just think about it. If you have questions, I'm always happy to answer questions. And there is my link to join. It's cubiesquest.com/join. On that page, there's kind of a Q&A, and there's also the link to join right there if you're ready to go ahead and do it. But please reach out to me. I am very happy to answer your questions. Okay, enough chit chat. I think the other thing I do want to point out is on Friday, I will be doing my normal live at 10 a.m. It's on YouTube. And I did say I am going to be doing the Easter Bunny box that I talked about last week. And it's that larger box. I will be making that one. But just so you know, the Easter Bunny bundle sold out yesterday. I sent out kind of a last minute email, and last night, I don't know, at like 8 p.m. my time, I think I looked, and I was like, I know it's going to sell out today, because it was on low inventory. I think Sunday night it went on low inventory. I didn't know till Monday morning though. And so I sent out the email as soon as I found out. And so that bundle, it is actually going to be coming back in May. So my feeling is that it might carry over into the annual catalog, because that's past our spring catalog end date. So, but for now, the stamp set's available, but the punch won't be available until May. So I am going to be making 2 boxes on Friday, or I'll be making one or the other. I'm going to be making a variation with a different punch. So even if you can't get the bunny punch, you will be able to get the other punch that I am going to use on this box. So it will give you an option to make this in a different way. So I think that will be kind of cool. And then everyone will have 2 ways to make the box, and that's always fun. Okay, I'm still talking and I'm not looking at your comments yet, so let me do that before I go. Okay, I already said hello to Janine, Deborah, Linda, and Karen, and I think I said hello. I said hello to Marty. Um, and hello, Mary. Deborah wishes me good luck for our house. I don't even know. My head's spinning. I've been crunching numbers all weekend, looking at the comps, and it's just like, I don't know, with the crazy market it is here right now. It's just, yeah. Um, and Marty's wishes my mom that she feels better soon. Oh, thank you, Marty. That's so sweet. Marty also said such a sweet card. Dee said such a cute card. Jean says hello, and she shared my live. Thank you, Jean. I appreciate that. Okay. A couple other people said they like the red bow, like Dee and Linda. Um, Janine said, "Knowledge is power." It truly is. It truly is. I love information. I guess that's probably why I chose librarianship as my degree. So I truly love information and going down those rabbit holes. But sometimes I shouldn't do them during the day, right? Um, uh, Marty says she loves libraries, especially the old ones. Oh, yes, we have a beautiful library here. And I live in a village called Auburndale. It's part of Newton. Newton is the city, and Newton is comprised of, I don't know, I think it's like a dozen or more villages. And Auburndale is a village, and our little village has a library. And it used to be part of the Newton library system, and it somewhat still is, but they closed a lot of the branch libraries. And so this one was taken over by the community. So now the community runs it with volunteers, so it's not staffed from the main library. And it's in this really old building with high ceilings and like old bookshelves, and it's got a little kids room in the back. It's really really sweet, and it's only open like a few hours every week, but I go there, or I used to go there on Saturdays, we have a knitting group that goes. I crochet, and now we've been meeting on Zoom a lot, but we're kind of going back into being in person like once a month. So, but it's a great space. See, I'm going down a rabbit hole just talking about things, Marty. So, yeah, beautiful libraries. Oh, Ellie, you're embroiled with Social Security. Oh my gosh, on hold with them. That's kind of crazy. I hope you get that resolved, whatever it is. And hello, Rhonda. I'm glad you're here. You'll probably have to watch the replay because we already did the card and everything. But I hope you all have a great day. And check me out on Friday on YouTube at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be making that larger bunny box, and I'll be making an alternative. And I hope you like both of them. I know some of you, I had a whole bunch of orders for the Easter bunny bundle. So I'm hoping that everyone that I was able to reach, I started warning people about a week and a half ago with my first, when I did the Easter Bunny Kisses, the Easter Bunny Kisses project. I put a warning on there, and I felt a little bit bad when I put the warning on there because I thought, people are going to think that I'm just like, telling them like, bye, 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 because I truly am not like that. I just wanted everyone to know that I really felt like this one would like sell out in the short term, and Stampin' Up did not share their future plans. I didn't know if it would be back in May or if it would sell out completely. Like the Clover Punch is not coming back. So I had no clue. So, but I had like a strong feeling from what I was reading online. And so I started demonstrating with it. As soon as those, the Heart Punch and the Clover Punch became unavailable, I was like, ooh, the Easter Bunny bundle is going to be the next one to go. So the last two projects I did, I kind of put a warning on my email that went out, and hopefully anyone that wanted it was able to get it. And then I sent a last minute reminder. So I try to keep you in the loop, especially with bundles that I'm using and that you might have an interest in. So I hope you picked it up, and we'll have that bunny project. So if you got the bunny bundle, you'll be able to do the project in time for Easter. And if you didn't, well, I have a slightly different project for you that you can do with a different punch that is available. Okay. Marty says, or Linda says, we all know you are not a pushy salesperson. You were just being very kind. Ah, well, thank you. I'm glad you feel that way, because I I love stamping. I hope it shows. I create projects for you, and I never try and like push things on people. I just want to like give people projects, and if they want to make them, then they can buy the product. And I thank all of my customers for their support, because I appreciate them. That's why I'm able to do this. All right, everyone, you have a great week, and hopefully I'll see you on Friday. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.